So it's been a couple of days since the Carabao Cup Final with Manchester United beating Newcastle United 2-0, and I've stopped crying just about long enough to view again the highlights, and if we're honest with ourselves, Manchester United were deserved winners. Looking at the match stats, you can see that Newcastle United definitely had significant amounts of control throughout the game. However, because of Man United's superior defending, essentially they didn't let them get anywhere near the goal. Having said that, Manchester United weren't exactly amazing going forwards either. However, in my opinion, the final comes down to two things: quality and luck. Now, with Manchester United's first goal, we're talking about the real first piece of absolute quality in the match. It's a wonderful free kick by Luke Shaw, which is brilliantly headed in by Casemiro, and the first goal is on the board. With the VAR check for offside, you could argue that there was a bit of fortune in the goal being allowed. However, you can also argue the other way and say they would be incredibly unlucky to have it disallowed, so that's not really a luck thing. But again, it's down to the clinical nature of the header that allows Manchester United to go into the lead. A quality delivery and a quality finish. Next, not long after, we have Manchester United's second goal. It's a good build-up move with rotating positions. And then with Marcus Rashford bearing down on goal, he takes the shot. Now this is where the fortune comes in because, of course, it takes a massive deflection off Sven Botman and loops over Loris Karius. Now there's some argument to say Karius went down a bit too quickly and he could have saved it, however it's a bit harsh. It's also a bit harsh giving it as a Botman own goal as opposed to yet another Marcus Rashford goal. But in the space of just a few minutes, Manchester United have completely taken control of the match with one piece of quality and one piece of fortune. Now, very soon after the Marcus Rashford goal, Newcastle United go up the other end and get a corner. It's played short, worked very intelligently, and then Dan Burn has an opportunity to score a goal for Newcastle right before the end of the first half, and he misses. This is actually quite a common thing with Dan Burn, so despite the fact he's 6'7", a giant, he's actually not that good in the air. He's also missed several opportunities throughout the season so far and is actually underperforming his XG. But again, comparably, it's a lack of quality. So with Manchester United having one headed opportunity, the quality finish got the goal. And with Newcastle United's opportunity, there was a lack of quality with the finish and therefore missing the target completely. There's actually another instance earlier on with St Maximin with a lack of quality. Earlier on in the match, you can see him bring down the ball and go on a wonderful dribble around Dalot before bearing down on De Gea's goal. However, the finish is lacking that quality and it's saved and eventually cleared. Now that would be a bit harsher on St Maximin, especially compared to Burns' opportunity, but it's still that little piece of quality that's missing when trying to score the goal. And when it comes to Newcastle's fortune, it's not that they had any bad luck, it's just they didn't have any good luck like Manchester United have. As we see at the start of the second half, Newcastle United really try and push for the first goal, taking a shot and it being blocked, another shot and it being blocked. Now this is wonderful defending, but you could also argue that with a little bit of good fortune, that block could fall to a Newcastle United player. But that just didn't happen throughout the entire match. Again, I would argue it's a lack of good fortune as opposed to bad fortune, but it's also incredibly good defending from Manchester United. And with this 2-goal lead, Manchester United can play the game entirely at their own tempo and just consistently hit Newcastle United on the counter-attack, because Newcastle have to force the game. So overall, it's completely deserved by Manchester United, but as we see, just a piece of luck and a piece of quality, and the game is practically done. Although one personal highlight was towards the end of the match, with only a couple of minutes left of stoppage time, the Newcastle United fans showing absolute defiance in waving the banners, the scarves, the images, despite the fact that they are just about to lose. It was a wonderful moment as a fan and filled me with a great amount of pride, despite the fact, as I mentioned before, I was already pretty much crying. And that's how Manchester United managed to win the Carabao Cup Final, in the end, quite convincingly. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.